Hello.
Whoa, we are live.
Oh, and that's a pretty good close-up. I like that.
Yeah, it didn't cut us off.
And we've got this amazing background. Just quite naturally, someone like Veronika has the perfect backdrop in her amazing home.
Love my goddess.
Oh my gosh. So I'm here with Veronika Winski Hess. Am I saying that right?
Veronika Winski is good.
Okay. Yes, who really, and then it gives me this moment to say, do I want to tag you?
Tag
and
me.
I think, hitting our angle. There we go. That's tricky. All right. We're not perfect. We're here to tell you we're not perfect. But we're so happy to be here. Yes, and already people we love who might tune in. And really, this is just my wanting to share people that I get so lucky to be connected to, that I'm so inspired by. And I want you, whoever might tune into this, to know about, because, just especially at this time in the world, maybe when a lot of people feel like they're struggling, and at the same time, a lot of people so open to what's possible. I mean, I'm just so excited that you're on the planet at this time with the work you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. And that sounded like fun and something different. So I said, why not? Let's do it.
Yes, and you'll hear that Veronika has a beautiful accent, right? So you're not born and raised in America.
I am not raised in America. I was raised in Poland.
Yeah.
For a few years, but I've actually lived now in California longer than I lived in Poland.
Really?
Fun fact. So
okay. Yeah, and you do have such a good, if there's any classic stereotypes to the Californianness that I would like to own too, because I'm born and raised Californian. Yes, you're bringing that through, and that you're walking the talk, new agey, but really with real life tools that are so amazing. I mean, I'm so excited about the work you're doing. I really am. And so we'll see what we get to talk about while we're here. But Veronika had this perfect backdrop in her home for us. And is this something that you use in your personal practices? I guess I want to ask right away. This amazing thing on your wall, or in your work with clients.
This up a little
bit. And maybe even for people to kind of see it. There we go. Yeah. Look at this amazing image in
it goes
Veronika's living room, just chilling. Have you done any, and are you communicating with this image? I mean, tell me what you want to tell me about this, because we need to go there, I think.
Sure, let's go there. So actually, the first time I saw this image was, I believe it was 2 years ago at Bhakti Fest, and one of the healers that I now became friends with, shout out to Shamrock.
What a great name.
He had it in his healing station, and when I saw it, oh my gosh, I was just mesmerized by it, and I really connected with it. And actually 2 years ago at Bhakti Fest, it was one of those experiences that created a big shift in my life. And then actually somebody dear to me heard about it and found it and got it for me as a gift.
Yes. So it kind of got to you. The universe made sure you had it.
So it was gifted to me.
Wow. So in a way, it kind of reminds you of that powerful, transformative weekend at the Yoga Music Festival.
Actually, it was 5 days.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you still get to that, or you have been getting to that pretty regularly, it seems.
Ever since then. I mean, you go and you experience such transformation, you kind of go back whenever you get a chance. And actually, it was interesting how I went, because I did not think I will go. But throughout that year, I kept hearing about Bhakti Fest, Bhakti. If you hear it more than 3 times, you gotta check it out.
Yes.
But that year, I remember I was doing so much traveling and so many life changes. So I thought I will not be able to go, or actually even afford to go. And then a dear friend of mine told me that she knows somebody in the volunteering realm of the festival. So she connected me with them, and I got to work and volunteer with the Healing Sanctuary. Somehow I landed there. And as they say, the rest is history. So I made a lot of great, amazing new friends and met people within the community there. So now each year I like to go and contribute my time.
But isn't that amazing how much those kinds of things, for me too, even though I don't do it for myself as much as I could, those weekend-like gatherings with even a huge group can be so connecting and transformative. Sometimes in the right, situation for some of us, right?
Exactly. When you go to the, I guess, places that are right for you.
Right.
You cannot describe it to somebody that hasn't been there, because it's like magic, literally. Like the communal consciousness of all the people together. It's really like cleansing on all levels for you. So.
Yeah, and I can only imagine, because I just think of you as someone who's so energy aware, because you're teaching and working in energy and levels like that are so like advanced, really, I think, compared to even a lot of energy workers right now. And so I can imagine that your personal experience of energy, right, like for you to come back and report what you experienced, that's cool to hear from you. Yeah, but I find I already want to ask you about, like, part of how do you make decisions, right? Like, obviously, I see you even living this life that seems very intentional and amazing and fun and travel and adventure, right? And it seems like it is connected to you being tuned in and like willing to make decisions, like listening with it. I don't know. So I just love to hear more about how that's important in your transformation, right? Or the magic.
Yeah, so that one is an interesting one, because how I do it now is very different than how it used to be. About now, it's weird to even say that it's been 3 years that I was at another point in my life where I didn't know how to figure things out. To keep going, doing this work and keeping a household. And at the time I had the healing center and big life changes. So I decided I had to surrender. So what is surrender? It's basically saying, I don't know how to figure this out. And trusting that there is something outside of you that will lead the way and will show you. And that's what I did. And ever since then, I've been really working on staying in tune when that's something that's outside of myself is telling me, go that way, do this, say yes, say no. So there is never any plan. I cannot plan anything. That's one thing. You have to let go
letting go of the plan. I love that.
There cannot even be a one-step plan.
Oh my gosh.
So it's getting to that point. And in the beginning, it was very uncomfortable, because in regular society, we are taught you have to have a plan. What's your 5-year plan, the goals and all that. But I'm being shown that no, I cannot have a plan. But I do have to have a vision. There has to be a vision of what I desire. But then letting go of how it's going to show up and how to plan it out. Like I thought, Lisa, no plan. Just trusting and really living from like moment to moment and being guided by that, even if it seems irrational to other people.
Yeah,
and that happens a lot.
Right. Yeah. That's definitely a piece to be ready for. That it may and very well
and
will.
And tuning in and also being like understanding of like you, like I have to be understanding of myself, that this is still like it's always a learning, ground. So sometimes I still make decisions that later on, like, no, I was not really paying attention. But then backing out and like retune, like working on refining that piece of connection. And the more you do it, then it becomes easier and easier.
Yeah. And so now I find the next question I want to ask her. What are some of the ways that you feel like you currently... Are there things that you're doing in your current days and life that are part of your, keeping that connection strong, like on purpose, that really work for you?
All the time.
Yeah.
It's basically it's on non-stop communication.
Right. So you're like non-stop. I'm doing this.
Being aware that you have a conversation in your mind non-stop. If you're awake, you're talking to yourself. So recognizing that you can talk to yourself on all levels, and talking to that higher self is just part of that. So throughout the day, I like communicate to it as though as it's like part of me, but part of me that I can put orders in. I can tell like, this is what I desire to have. Please bring that. Like I am ready. So like not making it like something that has to be like, oh, I have to go to this place at this time to do this. So that I show that I am being serious. it's just part of it, like non-stop.
And a lot about this like inner conversation, and even just
inner
this
dialogue with
deciding it's about and who you're talking to and deciding to get the guidance from.
Right, it's becoming aware of who do you have this conversation with, because you're always having conversation with something. Most of the time it's with yourself, with the crazy monkey.
Yes. I'm remembering like one of my favorite talks that you gave, which might have been the last time I saw you, was when you gave the talk at one of Kim's events where you used the sound piece. Yes. That was so brilliant. I mean, God, just I don't know. Do you remember some of what you did with that and how you were describing these different parts of ourselves? It feels like that might be relevant if you're willing to share that a little, because that was so powerful.
We all have these different voices in our head, but most of the time we hear the monkey voice, which is criticizing and unsure and unaware and doubting and all of that, and it's so loud.
Yeah.
And then we also have two other voices at least. One is our body, and our body always lets us know what's the right thing for us to intake, or if we like it's in our highest good to maybe go to the late or early meeting or whatnot. It gives us, like, it talks to us, but we most of the time don't hear it. That's why there's so much disease, because people just ignore their body, like, talking to them, and they listen to other people, like, oh, you have to do this, and if you did this, and they're like, yes. And they don't pay attention to their body. Yeah. Is it right for me?
Yeah.
And your body will tell you. It's there. It's another voice. And then there is at least the third one is your higher self, and that connection with the outer universe. That's where you put in all the orders, and that's the one that leads the way and lays everything out in front of you and tells you, like, yeah, this is in your highest good, and that is not, do this, do that. But it's so subtle, and it's like a whisper. And because the monkey is so loud, you don't hear it. So it's about becoming aware and doing things so that you become aware of these other voices and begin to communicate with all of them, not just with the kind of arguments with the crazy monkey, because that's not gonna.
Yes, because many of us are just in conversation with that one. Yeah, and I'm thinking how I noticed that you seem to build nature into your life a lot. Is that on purpose and related to this conversation? Right? I see you doing a lot of hiking and traveling, or even just visiting the beach a lot more than even a lot of people who live near the beach, right?
Definitely. Very much so. Very consciously aware of that. That's where I feel the work that I do, it is a lot of heavy work. People come to me as their last case resort because they've tried everything and things need to work. And so I feel like in nature I get to really recharge. I am away from all the craziness. I really believe in earthing, recalibrating my body through that. And when I am hiking, when I'm being guided to travel, a lot of times I'm being guided to travel into wonders of nature instead of wonders of the human-built nature. If that makes sense. And many times, like, I do enjoy traveling to places that is a human built into nature without disturbing the nature. I think that it's more people should become aware of the benefits of nature and all that it gives us. It rebalances our minds, our bodies, and it's just enjoyable.
Right, and it's almost wild that's becoming like a medicine for us, or we're having to remember how much it's a medicine for us. And maybe it is because a lot of us aren't getting enough of it, right? But it's also so beautiful, right? That it can be, and such a spiritual experience too. If you
but then on the other hand, maybe we shouldn't talk about it because then it's gonna get crowded there. Like at the mall, so.
Right. Well, and that's part of what I want to ask you about too, because I feel like I've become so aware of how we are always picking up other people's thoughts and energy, right? And just like, how do we deal with that without being afraid of it? And even thinking about someone like you in energy work, and how you're like managing that if you are picking up other people's energy. So what do you like to say about that these days, with this whole idea of if we can and do pick up other people's thoughts and energy, and if that's true, like, what do we do about that?
Of course,
and how do you handle that?
We do. Of course we do, and none of us are immune to not pick it up. Non-stop. Like most of the time, if you don't feel like happy or aligned with yourself, you are picking up somebody else's crap. Like maybe for a moment there was a thought or maybe a conversation or something that energetically put you in alignment with somebody else, and they blast you with that, and to the point where you don't know, why do I feel shitty? I was feeling great a few minutes ago. So in situations like that, it's actually it's easy to get rid of it. First thing is to become aware of it. Just become like, wow, I am not feeling good. Like, and then it's very, like, these things are super simple. They're so simple. You think like, no way, but wait, just try it. Just ask, like, when you're in it and you're feeling shitty, when you should be feeling good. You're like, I was feeling great. Why am I feeling shitty? Ask, like, okay, who does this belong to? Like, energetically. You don't have to say it out loud, because then people will be like, what's wrong with you? No, in your head. Just like, okay, who does this belong to? And then ask, return to sender. Yeah. It's like somebody else's. So, and then you don't ask it ask it like almost like on a reel, because maybe, who knows, maybe you picked up like several people's crap.
Oh, that's a reason.
So undo it, like, and in your head, who does this belong to? Return to sender. Who does this belong to? Sometimes you know who it is. Yeah, but I don't know. How do I know? I know. You just know you know, because you just like, you know. Yeah. Because that person maybe comes to your mind, or you're like, okay. In that case, and you're like, I feel bad. Yeah. You have to remember that even if this person is like your child, or your spouse, or your parent, and they are in a lot of pain, and you can pick up that pain, or they are suffering, not even for a moment are you easing their pain by suffering through them. But what you are doing is you are lowering your vibrational frequency, so that you are reflecting back to them that which they're giving to you.
Whoa. So it's more likely to keep them in that.
Yes. Exactly. That's why it's the opposite of what we think. Like,
because that's why, like, how can we know this is helpful to them?
It's not actually, because we are energetic beings, and if you lower yourself down on a vibrational frequency of feeling like bad for them, or sorry for them, or anything that's not uplifting or hopeful, then when you're in their presence, that's what you are gifting to them. Wow.
And reflecting them back, and
they can really pick that up because they are open to that. But when you say no, like, that's your energy, and I'm like, you know, I see you, I feel you, that's really awful, but I am going to vibrate in my high energy, and I'm going to show up in that, then you are giving that to them. Are they going to receive that like they receive the gloom? No, because they are not up here. But there is a possibility that it may trickle in. And if you would do it more often, then it becomes more likely that it opens up. Yeah,
right. Yes, but don't necessarily try to change someone else's energy with
so
yours.
Even the same goes with, like, now, you know, I know a lot of, like, all the horrible things that are happening in the world. Yeah. It's also important, like, what kind of emotion are we giving towards all of that? Like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. Like, oh my gosh, because when we are feeling, like, sitting in the feeling of feeling bad and hopeless and all of that, that's what we are contributing to those groups.
Wow. That's such evolved, like, consciousness.
Yeah.
Right? Like an ownership of our energy and the power of our imagination, right?
Ownership of our energy, and it's like contribution.
And how can we really help? Wow. If we really care.
Yeah, but then if we see it and we recognize, like, yeah, that's really, really awful. But then either, like, recognize it. Is this something where, like, what else is possible here?
Okay. Yeah. Like, so start to generate
just even ask that simple question, what else is possible here for these people? Like, how can, like, what could be of contribution to them right now? And don't focus on, because I get it, it's really, and we want to see it, but by us seeing it and being in it, unless you are really ready to dive in and be of some contribution on the level of, like, getting your, like, rolling up your sleeves and doing something, then you sitting there watching it and feeling bad for them is just hurting them.
Wow. Yeah.
Do something that's going to make you feel good, and then think about them.
Yeah. Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
And I love how you remind that you can be in alignment, but not necessarily in alignment with a higher frequency, right? So you can align with lots of different energies or feelings, right?
Yeah. So
it's also about choosing what you're in alignment with. But yeah, and really knowing that's how you can help most to do that for you and them, right?
Yeah, and becoming aware, like awareness. Awareness and realization that you have a choice.
Right. And that the choice is powerful enough. It sounds like that in your level of understanding, that just for us to decide that, or even to say certain things in our head is powerful enough, because we are so powerful, right? Exactly. Like when we realize that.
Yeah, and I mean, a few years ago, this was such woo, stuff. But now it's scientifically proven.
Yeah.
So it must be true.
Right? And that's what's a fun thing about doing this kind of work on the planet at this time, right? Is that we have more than ever the research on our side, and the those who've gone before us, and then unfortunately people struggling. I feel like I'd also love to hear, like, how do you respond to the current epidemics in like mood and mental health, and the like depression, anxiety, suicidal kind of stuff? Like, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a big question to ask, but from an energy mindset standpoint, and how, I don't know, how do you talk about that these days?
The world is going through an awakening.
Oh, yeah. See, and that feels better already. Yeah.
It shakes everybody's worlds. Like, we don't, like, everybody's going to wake up. We don't get to pick when.
Yeah.
It pops. And when it pops, for certain people that are open to change and are open to grow despite of the destruction of their world as they know it. Those are the people that you see prosper and wake up. The other ones that are resistant to the change and are resistant to letting go of their version of how their ideal world must look like. That's this is just my opinion. In my opinion, that's when the depression, anxiety, the mental desire for suicide, and then dependence on the prescriptions which numb out your body and your connection, and no wonder they say this word awakening. What a beautiful word. It's a shit show. Right. It's a shit show.
It's not,
excuse my language, but no, it's not. It's like the world, as you know, completely gets wiped out, not just once, but over and over again. And you have to learn how to move through it. And unless you are armed with the tools to really get past it, it gets tough.
Yeah.
It gets tough.
Yeah. And to be willing, I was thinking about this before we got together today, and this seems where it's relevant, is because I see that you seem very aware of how change is just so part of it, and even just so excited and ready for change and bring it on. And yeah, like I think you seem like you have an understanding of change, and that it's place in our lives, in a healthy life and a happy life. That this is it right there. That a lot of us are resisting the natural change that could and maybe should be happening, and that's part of our feeling out of whack in various ways.
Yeah, change is inevitable.
And that the change can feel like destruction and feel like growing pains. I had a friend bring that
like
word
growing
up the other
pains,
day, right?
Yeah.
And we did see it as growing pains, but
complete wipeout. But that's just how it is. Like, I think because as a global community, as a planet, we are shifting into this higher consciousness, whether we want to believe it or not. Something is happening. Yeah. And I think before, in our parents' generations and before them, it seems like there wasn't as much change, and it was normal. But now we are evolving, and change happens very radically, very fast, and we must become more and more adaptable to new ways of being. Everything is different, and it keeps becoming more and more different. And if we want to hold on to how things were, then it may become very, very painful on all levels, so many physical problems with people now, and people not really resisting the waking up even when they know the truth about, for example, the food, or they are so what is this one saying, that if you're oblivious, what is it? Maybe it will come back to me. I don't know. But oblivion is bliss or something like that, right? Yeah, it's not bliss, people. It's not bliss. It's gonna mess you up big time.
Right.
Because you don't on so many levels, and nowadays you really have to be aware of if you are aware I think you can be naturally healthy and you can, steer your way through, away from depression and away from physical pain by making the healthy choices and not avoiding them and making that part of your life and being adaptable to change.
Yeah. Right.
Because things are changing whether we like it or not.
Right. And that really makes sense that more than ever, as much as we do even see it around us, that is going to be part of like human consciousness and lifestyle that we are going to probably be changing even faster.
Yeah.
And to resist it, that even makes sense, how much that could create physical ailments to me, much less anything else.
And being blind to think like,
it's wild. Oh my gosh.
Like the food, like if it's in the store, it must be like fine because the whatever FDA whatever said it's good.
Yeah, yeah.
But then it's not. It's not good. No, you like buy it like in its raw form, not so processed. Like they're selling us this poison food, and if you're not aware of what's poison and what's not, then you may become sick. On all levels.
Yeah, just like weakens us. Yeah. But that's again like in that whole realm of choice. And I imagine you seem like someone who you're not like stressing about trying to be disciplined about things, that you're having fun through it, right? And feeling good through it. Maybe because it's a choice. I don't know, because it's not like something you're fighting with yourself about.
You cannot stress too much about it, because if we were, oh my God,
that cancels out the good effects, right?
I would have to live in a bubble. We would all have to, because anything you turn to, it's going to somehow kill you. It's just making the best choices, like good choices to the best of my knowledge and ability.
Yeah.
And sometimes if I feel like making a bad choice, I'll make it and be okay with it.
Right, and that whole psychology with yourself as part of the alignment, right? Right.
Exactly.
Right, which is maybe goes with the idea of consulting with higher self, because that's likely how higher self would be with you, right? Is that more loving, compassionate, less judgment.
But then sometimes response. You are human, and the higher self is like, nah, and you're like, yeah,
I choose to disregard higher self.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I know.
You're like, well, I see what happens when I do that. Yeah. So, well, that's so amazing. I mean,
not being so hard on yourself, because.
Yeah, the energy of that, right? I mean,
and giving yourself permission to forgive yourself easily, because we're always like, oh, forgive others, but no, you gotta really forgive yourself, because you are your own worst bully.
Yeah.
So over the years, I've really been retraining myself to become friendly instead of being a bully.
Right. And is that partly because of your work with others too? Just seeing how much so many of us are holding that as part of our
it's just
issues, just this like hatred with ourselves and judgment with ourselves. And
that's how we've been trained from the beginning. Even, you feel bad about yourself if you don't get an A because somebody else did. When you're a little, we're programmed to be that way.
Yeah.
So just I think again, when I became aware that this is how I have unconsciously programmed myself to communicate with myself, I'm like, that's not okay. I wouldn't be like friends with a person that would be like talking to me like that. And
But now you're aware that you're consciously
it's been years now.
Reprogramming yourself and continuing to stay on top of the programming, right?
Again, it never ends. You know, it's not like, oh, now I'm the master.
Now it's just good, and I'm just always it's never Yoda in my head or something. Right. And that's where it can really help who we're hanging out with, right? And what we're filling ourselves up with.
Being conscious of what do you fill your time with, and who are the people that you surround yourself with as well.
Yeah, because that's really going to fill up that consciousness and be part of that dialogue.
Yeah,
right?
and that's again being guided by the higher self.
Yeah,
and that's also sometimes like, okay, this is good for me, this is not, but then being aware. I think awareness is just such
right. But it seems, I know I've watched you having so much fun and making so many friends all over the planet. But I imagine that's from you maybe asking at some point, like, I'd like to travel more and make more friends. And
I have
oh my gosh, it's been so fun watching you.
I have definitely been putting that out there.
Yeah.
And then it shows up, and I call her my boss. Lady.
Is that what you call your higher self?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I feel like I need to come up with more names.
Yeah.
My boss lady.
So she tells me, like, go here, go there. And many times it does put me out, like, in a group setting without knowing anyone. And I'm like, and it's actually pretty exciting because I've been, you know, in the groups here in Orange County for a long time, and I know a lot of people, and most of the places I go to, I always know people, and now I've been guided to places where I know nobody. And I'm like, wow, just experiencing what that's like. Being me now, and knowing what I know, and it's just such a different, so enjoyable experience that it's
that's so fun. And I noticed that too for some reason. As much as I love my friends over the years, and you know, there's something interesting about meeting new people with who you are now. There's something interesting about that, right?
And also I've really started having a little fun with doing things with myself. By myself. Like taking myself out on dates and doing things, and I really do enjoy that, and I find myself meeting more people, because I go by myself.
Yes, you're like, I thought I was going to hang out with me.
If I go, you know, if you go with a friend, most of the time you kind of stick together. Maybe you do meet some, but not, I don't know. So giving yourself permission to spend time with yourself, because if you enjoy spending time with yourself, then you know, I just will enjoy spending time with you too.
It makes sense,
people like to hang out with me. Maybe I should hang out with myself more.
It's like tangible self-love. Totally. So I agree, and it is. It seems luxurious even sometimes, but so important. So thank you. And like we knew, like 30 minutes went easy and fun.
This was fun.
I knew it would be. Is there anything else that you feel like you'd love to say before we might call it to?
I think just being, you know, always open to change, and knowing that it's inevitable, and losing attachment to that plan that you had for yourself.
I love that one. I'm so glad you reminded us of that. Lose the plan, but keep the vision.
Keep the vision.
Drop the plan, and then open.
And keep the vision strong, you know, and be very connected to your vision. But drop the plan, and just trust, and keep working daily on the communication with self and on yourself on all levels. And if you find yourself that you are self-sabotaging yourself, or the same thing keeps happening over and over again, and we all need mentors. I just hired a mentor for myself and my business, which I'm super excited about. But if you do find yourself in a situation that you could use a mentor of retraining and resetting your mindset and deleting those old limiting stories, then feel free to reach out to me. I will be in Southern California for a few, I don't know how long, but while I'm here for at least another month or so, I do see some clients in person, but mainly we work virtually via video calls.
I bet.
Super
so
easy.
We'll make sure and put the link to your business page so that people can reach out, because the work that you do is so powerful and exciting. And for people to allow you in as a mentor and a coach and a practitioner, I mean,
we do some
all amazing. Do you work with? I would imagine you would be amazing for like young people, teens to connect with.
I'm glad you said that. No,
really? Okay, wait till they grow up a little bit.
Yes.
Adults. I'm glad I asked. Okay.
No kids, no teenagers, no young adults. Young adults, but no adults.
Okay.
With the old programming.
Yes.
That's where we
Well, that's so powerful.
Yeah, but I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, and I already know there's more I would love to talk to you about. So maybe before you go somewhere next, we could do this again, or there's always like video stuff once you're out.
Totally, super.
Out in the world, wherever you're called next.
Who knows?
But yes, thank you so much.
Awesome, this was fun.
I know it would be. So thank you all for being here, whoever was. All right, thank you. Namaste.